So what are we here for today? Well, this is the Hunter 3.0 Invis Devour build. Now, this build really is long overdue. As a Hunter main since D1, I literally love the fact now that I feel powerful, I feel like I can take damage, and I feel like I can put a lot of damage out using a Hunter. And this basically is going to utilize lots of different buffs such as Devour. You know, we're going to be having Invis quite often, volatile rounds. We're just going to be basically generating orbs, picking up elemental wells, and just buffing ourselves as much as possible. We're always going to pretty much have Invis, so if this is going to be working well for sort of GMs, the raid, we did try it in the raid. It's also going to work for just doing these nightfalls. This is just a legend nightfall because obviously the XP is bugged at the moment, so we're just leveling up as much as we can. So yeah, let's get straight into the build breakdown for you and show you exactly what we're running. So for the class, of course, we are going for the Void Night Stalker, and we're going to go with Shadow Shot, Mobius, Quiver. So this one basically, you can fire 2 volleys out of 3 arrows that seek nearby targets, and Shadow Shot makes targets volatile and deals increased damage to tethered targets. Defeating tethered targets also creates orbs of power. In terms of the dodge we're going to use marksman dodge because I find this quicker, and it's also good for reloading your weapons. You can use gambler's dodge, but if you can see, the base cooldown is slower, and we are going to be utilizing the dodge quite a lot. For the jump, of course, triple jump. This automatically comes with snare bomb. And then we're going to use the Vortex Grenade. And the reason for the Vortex Grenade is that it's going to pull targets inwards. So basically it's going to suck them into the grenade, and they're going to almost get trapped in the grenade and do extra damage. For the aspects, we're going to go Vanishing Step. Now, basically what this does is when you dodge, it makes you invisible. So going back to Marksman's dodge is quicker with a 29-second base cooldown, but we're going to boost that up. However, so with this, as soon as you dodge, you are going to be invisible. It also gives you 2 fragment slots. Second aspect, we're going to go for Stylish Executioner, and defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility. What you're going to want to do is go invis by dodging, kill something to get the volatile rounds, kill volatile, every volatile person that you kill, you're going to go invis again. You'll see in the gameplay that we're invis quite a lot of the game, and it does get you out of a lot of trouble. In terms of fragments, one of these is open for you to change, but not this one. We're going to go with Echo of Starvation. To start with, this is a picking up an orb of power, grants Devour. Devour is really important for this build. This is a Devour invis build, so you're going to want Devour all the time and invis all the time with volatile rounds. You're also going to go for Echo of Remnants. So your lingering grenade effects, which is the Vortex Grenade for us, has increased duration. Now you can change this one out. This is pretty much up to you what you want to do. There are plenty of other choices. You know, void ability, final blows cause targets to explode, or anything like that. You can really swap it out to final blows when surrounded by combatants grant super energy. Just depends how you want to play it, but I do like having that extra void grenade lingering effect for our Vortex Grenade because it basically does more damage over time, even though they are really powerful already. Then we're going to go Echo of Persistence. Now, void buffs apply to you, so invisibility, overshield, and Devour have an increased duration. We're going to have invis most of the time. We're going to have Devour pretty much most of the time, and it overshields as well, so we want more duration for those. And then Echo of Instability. We're going to go defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. Now we are going to be using void weapons, or a void weapon should I say. So we're going to want volatile rounds as much as we can, you know, so we can do more damage. We can get the invis all the time, and of course the Devour. So weapon wise, of course, the main weapon or your kinetic weapon is pretty much up to you. We don't really use this that often. We prefer to put something on here that will either stun an unstoppable or go through a barrier. So it's completely up to you, but I use Outbreak Perfected just because I like that weapon. It's a good weapon, and I'm trying to get the Catalyst leveled up. But basically this will stun unstoppables for us, but this you can pretty much choose whatever you like, any of the pulse rifles, or you can even use the SMG, but I don't want to run dual SMGs at the moment. Secondary weapon is the most important one really, and you're going to want to run something void. It doesn't have to be a funnel web, but I find the funnel web, and I think everyone else agrees, probably one of the best weapons in the game right now. Even though I don't have a completely god roll, epic fail there. We got subsistence. As long as you've got subsistence on this, you're going to be pretty much halfway there. I have rangefinder on mine, but honestly, I would rather have something like frenzy or something along those lines that's going to give me more damage. But I'm happy with this. It still works very well for now. And of course, just stick a backup mag. With this weapon as well, it does have the trait on here. Damaging an enemy with this weapon has a small chance to reload the magazine and increase movement speed while aiming down sights. So, I mean, you pretty much, with subsistence, you might not have to reload for a little while. Rangefinder is okay, but really we want to have a damage buff on there as well. And then for my rocket launcher, I am using the red herring. You can use whatever. You can use Galley if you want, or whatever you really want, or Palmyra. They're pretty good. Anything I would say with lasting impression or explosive light. So explosive light or lasting impression, I think you're good to go. I got a good roll here, tracking module, lasting impression. So I'm happy with this rocket launcher, and it's a void rocket launcher as well. So the helmet, we're going to go with a void helmet. And the reason for this is we need to equip 2 void mods on this. First off, I'm going to go recovery. Yours will differ because if you look at my stats, all I'm going for is recovery here and a bit of resilience. You can up the mobility slightly, but it doesn't make that much difference to getting that dodge back faster. And I did test this out and put this back at 100, which I had it at before with Orpheus rigs, but I'll go along and explain that in a second. But I'm just going to focus on these 2. You can do some discipline if you want to, but I don't think that's needed because you've got Devour. So basically, just as long as you got these 2 pretty much decent levels, which I don't have resilience at a good level, but hey, recovery is up there at 99. So back to the helmet, we're going to go for a harmonic siphon. So rapid weapon final blows with damage matching your subclass type create an orb of power. So this is where the funnel web's going to come in. It's a void weapon. We're running a void subclass, so we're going to generate or create orbs of power when having rapid weapon final blows. So basically, when you're smashing through all the NPCs with the weapon, you're going to get orbs of power. Then you're going to need void siphon. Rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. So you're both linking them together. I mean, you could just have 2 of these on, but I find this does proc in, you know, it does work well together. You can literally just have 2 harmonic because it does increase the potency. You can't really have 2 void siphons because there's not enough room on the energy here. So they're both 3. So you could just run that twice if you want to. Then we're going to have Well of Tenacity. Now, picking up a Void Elemental Well reduces the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time. Picking up an Elemental Well grants energy to your ability with the lowest current energy. Picking up an Elemental Well whose elemental matches your subclass grants energy to all of your abilities. So we're getting all of our energy abilities back. We get energies all the time. We're going to be focused on getting in that dodge back. Focus on getting grenades or getting your smoke grenade or whatever you want back. We're just going to focus on getting those back as soon as possible. So for the arms, I mean, this is pretty much open, really. Yeah, you don't really have to have arc or anything like that because you just want to want volatile flow. Now, picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. So basically what you want to do is get as many elemental wells or as many void elemental wells as you can, so you get volatile rounds constantly, which then can proc all of the other things. You know, you're in Viz, and then we're going to have Devour because elemental void volatile rounds even are going to give you orbs of power, rapid kills. So you're all going to link in together to get Devour and Invis constantly. You can also run, of course, Unstoppable, Anti-Barrier, or however you want to run it. Overload rounds if you need to, because we are running an SMG. As I say, that's down to what main weapon you're going to want to run. So for the chest piece, what we're going to run on here, we're going to run a Void chest piece. We are going to run Thermoshock plating, and I find this very good, especially for the new raid. This helped me survive a little bit. Reduces incoming solar damage from combatants and also arc damage from combatants. Now, there's a lot of solar captains around, so it's definitely good to have, and you can stack these up. So I've got this on twice. Another one you can use is concussive dampener, or if you're going against void, just click void on, but they're pretty much open, but I like to have those two on just as a bit of a backup. Then we're going to go Reaping Wowmaker. So after activating your class ability, your next weapon final blow on a combatant spawns a void elemental well. So what you're going to do is you're going to dodge first, then you're going to kill an NPC. He's going to drop a void elemental well, and then you're going to get all the buffs. You're going to get the volatile rounds. You're going to then get orbs, which are going to proc devour, and then before you know it, you've got a stack full of different buffs that you've got on your character at that moment. So picking up an elemental well grants energy to your ability with the lowest current energy as well. Picking up an elemental well whose elemental matches your subclass damage type grants energy to all of your abilities again. So we're still getting that as well. For me, this is really important. You know, it's a very, very good one. And so definitely you're going to want to have that void mod on. Now, for the cloak, we're going to run a solar cloak. And the reason is I'm going to put bomber on because you can do this twice if you want to. But, I mean, you will want devouring depths because, you know, do a bit of extra damage to the enemies with your super. But you can put 2 lots of bomber on, and bomber basically just reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So we're going to be using the class abilities a lot. You can do that double up, and that will double up the potency. But I mean, you can also have overload grenades if you want, so you can cover pretty much every aspect if you want to. For me, I do have devouring depths because we changed out the boots, which I'll just explain to you in a second. I was running a different set of boots, but now we actually have changed them out for something different. And of course, Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. Again, void, void, void. We've got the void SMG. We're gonna make void elemental wells after we dodge. And then we're going to get extra bonus damage. We're going to get devour from the orb that we're going to create. So again, with the buffs, you're just going to stack those buffs really, really high. So for the boots, this is where we really get into it. And I haven't leveled these up actually because I'm a bit broke on Ascendant Shards. But this is where we really get into it. I'm using the Frosties, okay? Now, people are going to argue with me about this, whether to use Frosties or whether to use the Orpheus rig. Now, Frosties, sprinting gives you energy, dodging speeds up sprint. Okay, so sprinting gives you energy. When you're running, you're getting your dodging back faster. And then when you dodge, it speeds up how fast you run. So it works well together. Now with the Orpheus rig, which we used to run, which is still very good for this build, don't get me wrong, but you'll have to spec mobility. With this Orpheus rig, it grants Deadfall and Mobius Quiver energy. So you get another, basically you get another shot, okay, with your super. But because we're running the mod where we do extra damage, devouring, what is it called? Devouring depths. That actually gives us extra damage on our 2 shots. So I don't really feel the need to have that 3rd shot unless you want it. I don't really feel like I need that at the moment, so I'm running Frosties because it's going to get me my dodge back faster. So on this, I'm running Insulation, so reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So every time we're getting them orbs with the volatile rounds and the extra damage and everything else, the invis, we're going to get more class ability, so it reduces the class ability cooldown. And then you're going to get this one, which is Absolution, reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb. So you could double this up, but for me, I like to have this one as well to get the rest of the abilities on a cooldown as well, so less cooldown for all those as well. And then, of course, Elemental Armaments. Now, combatant weapon final blows with a damage type that matches your subclass element have an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well. So basically, cutting that into 2 is we're using Void. Our subclass is Void. You're going to hear me say Void a lot. I feel like I've already said it a lot. So we're going to be getting kills with that SMG, which has a chance then to spawn an elemental well, which again, is then going to proc volatile, which is going to proc an orb, which is going to proc everything else, so we get all those buffs. And then picking up an elemental while grants energy to your ability with the lowest current energy. So it's the same as before, basically, you know, just buffing all of those abilities, so we can pretty much run around Invis with Devour and just literally wreck everything with boosted weapon damage on the funnel web as well. So for me, this is really good, hard hitting. You're also going to boost your weapon damage for the void weapon, so it's going to be for your rocket launcher as well, if you've got that, if you can time it right. But yeah, that's pretty much the build the way it is. Let me know of any thoughts. Let me know if anything you think you could change. Of course, one of the changes is the exotic. I am going to play around with different exotics. I don't really know which one I'm going to use yet. There are many different ways we could do this, but I'm going to literally play around with the exotic. But let me know in the comments section below your thoughts. What do you think we should change, or what did you enjoy, or are you already using this build? Of course, those new fragments that we got last night after the raid are fantastic. Void 3.0 for the hunter is the one, and I think this is going to be a good build for GMs, for the raid especially. We were doing it on contest mode last night, even though we didn't really get past the first few encounters. I wasn't dying, it was just the mechanics that was killing us. So it was definitely good for survivability and getting those kills and damage. The damage on this build is ridiculous for a hunter, and using an SMG. If you can get a decent funnel web, go and get one. Just Subsistence Frenzy or something like that. It'll be absolutely incredible. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you want to become a member, click the join button. With that being said, again, peace out.